You leave the gym in the best mood of your life because you look jacked and you look big and you look exactly how you wanted to. And then you get home and it's like someone stuck a straw in you and went... Simon Miller, the bald a-hole here, coming at you like Cleopatra. I put the clip on it once before. I just heard that song. Again, I'm not talking about it. We've done it. Thank you very much for joining me on a brand new day. Isn't it crazy? Like, if the apocalypse is ever going to happen, well, we won't be here to talk about it. Well, some people would probably survive the apocalypse, at least for a little while. And then you would be like, wow, I really should have appreciated today, and which is why we should always appreciate the gym. That segue didn't work, but I did it anyway. Just a few tips I wanted to share with you today. And these are kind of like abstract, weird tips to a certain point. And it all inspired me, it was all transpired from something I saw in the gym the other day. And a guy, it was kind of weird, it's a weird series of events. Maybe I looked at him too much. I certainly didn't mean to. So he's watching. I'm so sorry. I would never do that. But it was more, I didn't, stare at him for more than half a second. So it wasn't even a stare. But I noticed that he was doing something with his dumbbells on his dumbbell press. And he came up to me and said, "Oh, what do you think of my form?" And I was like, well, now that you've asked, I will give you my vantage point. And that ties into point number 5. So I won't share it just yet. But now you know the inspiration for this video. But here is 5 mini workout tips that is going to help your ass. Right, so back to my story. When you are doing any kind of movement, when you're laying down, so bench press, dumbbell press, incline press, that works as too. Obviously, you're an incline, and who else knows what you're doing? Skull crushers. Look up. Or don't look to the mirror, and don't sort of, crane your neck to try and look at yourself or see how, pumped your guns are right now. It doesn't help at all, in my personal opinion. Maybe it works for you and that is great. But when you start arching your neck like that, not only do I think you put your body out of position, but I don't think you're focused on the lift. I really, really don't. Like, if I'm going to do a dumbbell press, I'm going to stare upwards, and I'm going to push, I'm going to squeeze, and I'm going to keep focusing that way as I bring it down. As soon as I do that, I kind of feel like I'm off kilter, I'm off balance, and really, that's not why we're there. Everybody wants to look at themselves when they're all jacked and pumped up. I've talked about it 1,000 times, and I'll talk about it 1,001. You leave the gym in the best mood of your life because you look jacked and you look big and you look exactly how you wanted to, and then you get home and it's like someone stuck a straw in you and went and sucked away all your muscle. And you're like, what? Especially here in the UK right now, because plastic straws got banned today. So it's a double-edged sword. But it's just something I see happening in gyms a lot. It was happening with this guy, and fair play to him. He was very receptive to my advice, and I would never expect anyone to be. You can listen or ignore anybody that you want. But yeah, just try it if you are in the habit of trying to see your form, or let's be honest, trying to see your own muscles. To me, it's head down, neck straight, look up, look forward, look there, and I just think your lift will be better. And don't forget, it's all about range of motion, it's all about form, it's all about time under tension, all these kind of things. Don't overly get carried away with weight, although that's important too. There you go. And number 4 is to do exercises you like, but the spin and the caveat this time is even if it is for an entire session. I'm not joking. I mean it, because the stereotypical traditional idea is if you're going to work back, for example, you do deadlifts, you'll do pull-ups, you'll do barbell rows, you'll do whatever. We can do this all day, but you'll do all of these things. But if you already know that you love deadlifts, for example, and you're going to smash deadlifts, and you're going to do a really heavy deadlift, and you're really going to push it on deadlift, but then when you get to doing pull-downs, it's only going to be 65, 70% because you don't like them, and you're already fighting with your own brain, trying to think of ways to get them. Just don't do them. Like, honestly, if you are somebody that can push through all of that and you're going to be intense enough on each of your exercises, there is always a benefit from doing different stuff. I mean, boredom, if nothing else, it gets a bit tiresome doing the same thing over and over again. But if you know that you're not hitting them hard enough, but will do it on a deadlift, on a squat, on a bench, whatever the hell it may be, obviously it's going to be better with compound movements just because of what they are, but even flub that too. You can do, let's say you're going to do 20 reps, 20 sets on back. Sounds like quite a lot, but it's just a random number. Don't do 20 sets on back. If you want to do 20 sets on deadlifts, do it. Why not? Like, honestly, why shouldn't you do it? Because a book said that you shouldn't? Because that guy over there said you shouldn't? And I understand the instant comeback is, well, why should I do it? Because you're telling me to do it. You shouldn't. You should pick up what you're trying to do. But I see so many, it's legs, and I get it, I hate legs too, but people say, I don't want to work legs because all leg exercises suck. So I say, well, do you like doing squats? And yeah, I kind of like the challenge because it's heavy. Then just do squats. Squats are amazing. If we want to sit down and have a big debate here, squats are probably the #1 exercise in the world. If there was an election for exercises, squats would win. And we'd put squats into power and everything would be, wahoo wahey. It'd be so easy to just go to fall back on these traditional ideas just because they're traditional ideas, because they're classic ideas. And they do work, but it doesn't mean that you can't adjust to suit. So I absolutely implore you to adjust to suit. And you may have to change things out down the line, but if it's going to motivate you and it's going to inspire you and it's actually going to make you have a good gym workout, that's the key. The key isn't that, I made sure I did my 5 exercises on back. The key is that you leave going, sweet, I absolutely smashed it. So just do whatever you have to do to get there. Number 3 sounds like an obvious one, but given the amount of messages I get about this, I'm going to assume that maybe it's not, or maybe it's too obvious and you just don't think. So many people message me, and again, I love every message. You're really nice people to even think that, you would want this bald a-hole to help you. But, so many people, I go to the gym in the morning and I'm always really tired. I'm always a bit weak, but sometimes I go in the evening and I've got more energy. Why do you think this is? I'm like, well, it's because you've eaten more. It's as simple as that. You have more nutrition in you. You have more calories in you. Don't forget, calories is just an energy unit. That's not the way to describe it at all, but that's what it is. It's your fuel. So if you have more fuel in you, you're going to be more productive. So a simple tip to transform your workouts is to stop going in the morning and start going in the evenings. Honestly, and again, life is always going to get in the way, right? Life is always going to kick your ass. If you can only go in the mornings, you should still do it then and just, maybe take some coffee, caffeine, whatever to try and push you through. But the optimal time to go to the gym is when you've got more than a few meals in you, whatever the hell you're eating, because again, then you can use that to be energetic in the gym. It really is that simple. It is, but so many people don't seem to sort of clock the two coming together. And, you can kind of shape it differently as well. So let's say you go really heavy on legs and back or whatever. You've got a heavy day and maybe a lighter day. On the heavy day, that's when you go in the evening. And maybe if something's going to be less intense, why it would be, I don't know, but it's your life. You know what you're doing. Then those days you can go in the morning. It just stands to reason, right? Of course it does. And sometimes I do this as well. Usually at the weekends, I have to go quite earlier for things I don't need to bore you with. But it escapes my brain. I walk away after a deadlift session. I'm like, man, why did that suck? And it's because I've only had a couple of meals compared to maybe 3 or 4. And also it can be sleep. It can be a number of other things. And I think most people, by and large, have more energy sort of early evening, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, as opposed to 8 in the morning or 11 p.m. at night. But just give it a go if you can. If you have a flexible lifestyle and you're used to going in the gym in the morning, try going to the gym in the evening, and I bet you're twice as productive. Number 2 is more of a kind of finishing exercise, but it's something that I incorporate from time to time. And not only does it get me over hurdles and make sure I don't hit plateaus, it absolutely kicks my ass. And because the gym makes no sense, I like having my ass kicked in the gym. No matter what exercise you are doing, make sure you do one final rep where you get it into the top position. So we'll use dumbbell press as always because it's easy given my camera position. You get it into the right place, and not only do you squeeze it for as long as you can, but when you start coming back down, you have to fight it every step of the way. And I'm talking about trying to make this rep last around about a minute, maybe even 90 seconds if you can. You'll look absolutely crazy, but oh my gosh, it is hell. It is hell on earth. The pain you will feel, your brain will start saying to you, would you like me to just switch off and die just so we don't have to feel this way anymore? For a fleeting moment, you're like, maybe I do want to do that. There are some exercises you can't do it on. And like the one I actually use it for most of the moment is I'm trying to improve my pull-ups. Kind of hit a little bit of a wall with them. I want to start adding to my rep range or, being able to have more weight around my waist. I'm not really getting there. So at the moment, what I'm doing, my last rep, wide grip, I pull myself right up there and I hold it and I hold it and I hold it and I hold it and I fight it and I fight it and I fight it. And it kind of sucks. My form and my range of motion aren't great, but it's not the point. It's just about trying to train that muscle. Just be stronger in that hold. And if nothing else, it will absolutely 9 times out of 10 probably give you a little bit of delayed onset muscle soreness the next day. Like that's a toss of a coin, whether you're going to get that or not. You never actually know. But I love it as a finisher. Some days I would do it on the last last rep of every single exercise that I do. And then by the end, you're like, nothing works. And you feel like a fish out of water, just like squiggling around. I think it's great though. And I recently got somebody else to do it just on one. We were doing preacher curls. And I said, just do that. And she said the next day, hell on earth had arrived, which is what I promised. Go demons. And number 1, this is the thing that I believe transforms everybody's workouts when they truly embrace it and they truly believe it. And that is to start going to the gym for you. Don't go for me. Don't go for your mum. Don't go for your dad. Don't go for Great Auntie Joan. Don't go for your dog. Don't go for Arnie. Don't go for Postman Pat. Don't go for Super Ted. Where the hell did they come from? I don't know. When you start going to the gym for you, and you're not worried about all the nonsense that goes on around the gym and the ego craziness and the mad lifting and the weights and the strength, all of a sudden the gym is just such a much better experience because, again, you are solely doing it for the reasons you want to do it, and therefore you're going to get more out of it on the other side. It's just true. It just really, really is. And I get it too. Like, to me, even though I've always loved the gym and I've always been massively passionate about it, I think there was a time when it almost became an affectation. So I felt like, well, you got to be as big and as ripped as humanly possible because that's how other people see you. But flub how other people see you. They're going to judge you if they're that type of person anyway. It doesn't matter what you do. Find a reason that you want to go to the gym. Establish what your goal is and make sure that you live up to those expectations you've set yourself, and you can never lose, and your workouts were going to be better, and your enthusiasm is going to be better, and your motivation is going to be better, and it's just going to be better around. It will start to feel like you're going on a roller coaster every day, should you like roller coasters. I often think that sometimes the reason people do not like going to the gym, and this kind of ties into the other entries, is because they are either training or doing stuff that they think is right as opposed to what they want to do. They still have to be safe, and you still have to train smart, but there is no right or wrong. There is no easy route to all of this. You just have to kind of do a bit of trial and error and figure it out. It's like playing a point and click game. Do you remember Monkey Island?
Well, if it isn't the boy who wants to be a pirate.
Where you just kind of, tried stuff out, didn't work, tried stuff out, didn't work, and then Google was invented and you went on and just typed in, how do I do this puzzle? Because you couldn't handle it anymore. That's what the gym is. And amazingly, you can do that on Google too. It will give you tips and tricks and advice, much like I'm trying to do now, that you can incorporate, and you can keep the ones you like. You can throw the ones you don't like over a bridge into the sea. And eventually you will have found what works for you and everything will be awesome. So there you go, 5-minute tips that hopefully will transform your workout. And if they didn't, well, the video didn't cost you anything. So it's all good. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, ding, ding. You'll be notified when a new video goes live. Click the video on the screen right now so you can watch more of my content. YouTube loves it. Also have Instagram, Twitter, Patreon, and merchandise at Simon Miller 316 for most of those. But more importantly, whatever you're training today, have a great session. I'll see you soon.